Well, good morning. Oh, I'm so very, very grateful to be here today on this Thanksgiving week. And I am very, very grateful to see each of your beautiful smiling faces here and on Zoom. Speaking of Zoom, I would like to mention our dear friend Audrey Spees. She faithfully shows up on Zoom week after week. However, she's recovering at the rehab across from the hospital with a pretty serious infection. So if you would like to stop by and say hi, you can. She'll be there for another week, and then she'll be at home in hospice. So please remember her in your prayers. I'd like to say that today I'm going to dedicate my talk to our dear friend Alice Abbott. And I came across a few quotes, probably some notes that I had taken when she so generously came and shared her wisdom with us. This is one. She goes, "Beyond what people do or say, they are Christ, and we are called to love them." Beyond what people do or say, they are Christ, and we are called to love them. So it's so easy for me to behold the Christ in each of you, and I do love you. I also love this beautiful sanctuary, and I want to shout out a thank you to Kathy Shelton and Bibi for faithfully coming each month to change our decor and brighten the place up. So with that, I'll share a little story. Now, this one's not particularly funny, but it is pertinent. So there was a woman at church that was telling her friends about a new fitness program she had begun. It was called A Step of Faith. And they went, "Ooh, is it cardiac or aerobic?" She says, oh no, nothing that extreme. I just take one step. One step? Yep. I take one step and I pray about the next one. Well, so how's that working for you? Well, I don't run after anything anymore. I just take one step and trust God to move the goal closer to me. So today, may your goals just be inching their way toward you one step at a time. And as you know, today's talk title is A New Way. And it is Advent. And Emily so kindly lit our first candle for us, the candle of faith and hope. And throughout the Bible, there are so many scriptures about faith, but I think you're probably very familiar with the one that says, faith is the assurance of things hoped for. I've heard it many times, but I really gave it some thought. Assurance, the absolute certainty that what we hope for will come to pass. And if we take a moment to think about our lives, I think we'll find that that's true. I know for me, so many miracles occur without me even realizing. I have a funny one to tell. Well, I don't know if it's funny or not, but it's truly miraculous in my opinion. I used to go to the pool out at there's a Frankie Plaza. There you go. Frankie Plaza has a beautiful indoor swimming pool within a room about this side, cedar ceilings, windows all around. And this is like maybe 20, 30 years ago. I'd go with a friend and I'd lie on my back and I'd think, wow, what would it be like to have a home that had a pool like this? Fast forward to 2003 when I met Dan. I meet this guy who carries $500 in cash in his pocket all the time or more, talks about hundreds of thousands of dollars at a time, and I'm thinking, who is this guy? You know, I've got my $20 and I feel rich and I'm... So I go to his home in Canada, and lo and behold, he has an indoor pool with cedar ceilings and windows all around. And I married that man, and I had that pool. Talk about the assurance of things hoped for. I would have never guessed it, but it came to pass in my life. So at this time, let's try not a particularly new way, but a way of meditating. So if you would please just get yourself comfortable, remove any things from your hands. And you know, lately we've been talking about breathing. Like many of the speakers we've had suggest that we inhale, hold, and then exhale for a prolonged time. This is on the internet a lot. They call it vagus nerve breathing for the parasympathetic nervous system. The parasympathetic nervous system is for rest and digestion and restoration. So now you've got it all. So the trick is, or the key is, to inhale for about a count of 4, hold, and then exhale slowly. So let's close our eyes and begin. Inhale, hold, and release. Again, hold, and release. Let's do this about 3 or 4 times at our own pace. Inhale, hold, and release. One more. Inhale, hold, and make a sound when you exhale. Ooh. And now, just allow your breathing to take on whatever pace it does. Just notice. Notice if your exhalation is actually longer than your inhalation. Do you notice a pause before or after the inhale or the exhale? Does your tummy rise and fall? Or is your breathing more up in your chest? As you observe your breath, allow your body to soften. Feel the tension rolling off your shoulders. Feel your back against the pew or chair you're sitting in. Allow your hips to settle in. Feel the weight of your legs, your feet, the connection to the floor. Feel yourself grounded. Now notice your hands. Soften them, your forearms, your upper arms, and your shoulders and your neck. In this place of peace and serenity, know that God is. God is here, ever present, ever powerful, ever wise, ever loving. Know that you are of God. Oh, exhale. Know that God is and I am. Affirm to yourself, I am the love of God, the wisdom of God, the peace, the presence. Feel your heartbeat. Know that you are safe and protected. And before opening your eyes, I invite you to put a soft smile on your face and feel the joy bubbling in you and through you and all around you. God is, and all is well. Please open your eyes when you're comfortable doing so. So it is a new day. It's a really good day. And I have another quote here from Alice. We look for the good to see the Christ and to lift one another up. Unity is positive Christianity, and certainly Alice was one of the most positive people I ever met. Funny, fun. And our greatest commandment in Christianity is to love God with all of our heart, mind, and soul. Or maybe it's all of our heart, soul, and mind. Either way, it's all together. And the second commandment is to love your neighbor as yourself. And so, I'm wondering, do you truly love yourself? Can you think of yourself as a small baby, an infant, any infant, but yourself? Think of yourself, place your hand on your heart, and think about how cherished you were when you came into this world. And that love is still as true today as it was on the day you were born. I'm going to share with you 9 practices that I've been working on for the past month. Louise Hay has these 9 powerful practices and so day by day I tried to learn these 9. And the first one is, I love and approve of myself. You may recall I mentioned it the last time I was up here, and I said that it was really one of the hardest practices that she ever suggested. The looking into a mirror in the morning, first thing, scary sight, and saying, I love and approve of myself. How many of you have ever tried it? A few. Yeah, and I see some smirks with that. Well, I'm not giving up, and I encourage you to do the same. I think that taking the commandment of Jesus to love others as ourselves, it's like such an important idea and practice. And if we can do that in the morning, first thing, and throughout the day when we spot our reflection, it's so helpful. And then we're able to share that love with others. Her second is, I am worthy of love, abundance, and peace. Again, another affirmation. Our unity practice is to practice affirmations and denials. So when those negative thoughts creep in, we release the power. We take it away. We say, no way. I deny that these negative thoughts have power over us. I think this is especially important for our community where we seem to be facing physical challenges. How then do we deny the power of these things? How do we say, Satan, get thee behind me? Well, we put our faith forward. We hope that whatever conditions we're facing will be corrected, and we move forward one step at a time. So in knowing that we are truly worthy, I think, again, if we go back to that notion of a small, loving newborn, I can't imagine that anyone in here would think that any newborn is not worthy of love. And so we still have that child within, that babe. And so I would ask each of you to know that you are truly worthy of love. And abundance, we already have it. You know, I had it long before I met Dan McCurdy. I lived a rich and abundant life. We Americans are so very, very blessed. And at this time of year, shopping and running around, and I saw this mania on Friday, because I happened to be out in it. And then on Saturday, when I was driving the streets, there weren't as many people, and it was like, oh boy, everybody's crashing after their shopping spree. But truly, we are an abundant nation. And then finally, the peace of God. Why is it that we don't necessarily entertain peace? What is it about us that we're more likely to be stressed or concerned or worried, when in fact, the peace of God is always available to us? So number 2, I am worthy of love, abundance, and peace. Number 3 will set you free. It is, I forgive myself and others. Wow. Forgiving ourselves is often more difficult than forgiving others, but I don't know, I can hold a grudge, and sometimes it's very difficult to let go. So I'd like to sprinkle in a few scriptures. I took the time, and it was quite easy actually, to find a scripture that goes with every one of these affirmations. So let's see what we've got for forgiveness. It's from Ephesians 4:32. Be kind, tender-hearted, and forgiving. A simple scripture. And again, I'm asking you to apply it to yourself. Can you be more kind, more gentle, more forgiving to yourself? Because that truly is the freedom that we all have access to. I mean, I've spent years studying A Course in Miracles. I might again mention Alice. I've said it before, but she started our group here in 1998 and faithfully kept that group going all these years. Just that in itself is miraculous. And the teachings of the Course are about forgiveness. Forgive and set yourself free. Number 4 is, I release control and trust in divine timing. Now, the last 2 talks I gave, one was about trust, trusting my Father in heaven, and releasing, letting go. So can we do that? Can we release, let go, trust in God? How do we do that? Well, breathing. Believe it or not, the little exercise we did today, it works. If you're driving along in your car, and I don't know how many of you are like me, I'm out and about quite a bit, I always begin with the exhale. Ooh, I just let it go. That's a way to release. And then, I breathe in love, peace, joy, and faith. Number 5 happens to be a favorite of Louise Hay. It is, I am safe. All is well in my world. Let's think about that one. Are we safe right now? Is there anyone here that feels some tension in their shoulders, in their neck? Feels a little threatened? Well, I hope not. But you'd be surprised at how many times throughout the day you probably do experience those feelings. And so she said this was one that she used almost all the time. She at least was able to admit it. You know, recognizing something is the first step. And sure enough, Sharon Golden, who does our meditations on Monday, she said, be alert, be awake, be aware. We have thoughts. We have thousands of thoughts. We don't need to entertain all of them. Well, we can't possibly entertain all of them. So the idea then is to know that you are safe, in spite of whatever it is you're thinking, in spite of that tension in your shoulders. You are safe, God is here, you are here, and all is well. Number 6 on Louise Hay's list is, I am open to miracles. Ready, open, and willing. R-O-W, row. Row your boat. Row your boat gently down the stream. Be ready, be open, be willing, and you're going to see some big, wonderful swimming pool or a brand new house or a friend that just absolutely loves you. That's kind of how I feel about Audrey. You know, she became unable to drive, and so she wanted visitors. So I thought, okay, I can do that. Well, over the last couple of years, she's become a dear friend to me. What a gift that I was open and willing. So miracles abound. The Course in Miracles says they're natural. Number 7, I like this one. I choose thoughts that nurture and support me. Now, the reason I like it is because it's about choice. And many of us feel that we don't really have a choice. Our thoughts just seem to come at will. And even Sharon Golden would say the nature of the mind is fear-based. So many of our thoughts are fearful thoughts. But I'd like to think that in spite of our conditioning, and she also talks a lot about that, we're conditioned. We're conditioned from the moment we're born to think the thoughts we do. However, we can make a choice now that we know that. Oh, so I'm conditioned? I'm behaving in this way, not because it really makes sense, but because it's what my family always did. You know, so that conditioning, if we tune into it and we pay attention, we can make different choices about our thoughts. Thoughts that actually do nurture and support us. Again, number 8 is about abundance. And according to Louise Hay, abundance flows freely through me in the form of prosperity, love, health, and opportunity. So again, let's think about health. Is health abundantly available to me? I think so. I think the more I practice my spirituality, my breathing, the healthier I seem to become. I live with some weird condition, and I don't like it, but I have this to support me. I have you to love me. And so we can get through this, and we can believe in an abundance of health, money, love, peace, joy. You fill in the blank. And number 9 is today I choose joy. And joy is not conditional. Okay? So we were talking about the conditions of our lives that we grew up with. And we may even think that happiness is conditional. But in fact, joy, like peace, is a river that flows through us, always available. Yes, we need to pause because our conditioned thoughts do get in the way. But if we can take a minute and pause and be gentle with ourselves and think, I'm learning, I'm growing, I'm doing the best I can. So now, in closing, I would just like to say a couple of things. One, I wish I had more time because I do want to talk more about the metaphysical Bibles that we have. I'll do it now. Okay, and again later. Janet was able to get some Bibles from Truth Unity. They were given to us. However, and they're in our library. If you would like one and would like to check one out, you're asked that you do so and then make a contribution to Truth Unity. With that in mind, we would like to have a Bible study here at the church one Sunday, and of course it would be an ongoing Bible study at home. So please keep that in mind, and if you have any interest, see me afterwards. But now for my closing, I want to give you the very best news, and that everything I've shared today is really not new at all. You were born in the image and likeness of God. It's a done deal. You were born love, you were born wisdom, peace, and you are eternal. My friends, you are safe, you are protected, and you are assured. God is at work in your lives, moving the goal closer and closer. Abundance of love, health, and peace overflowing. God bless you.